Welcome to Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. Our show brings you closer to the heart of Texas A&M athletics through powerful stories of perseverance, purpose, and life-changing opportunities made possible by 12th Man Foundation donors. From student athletes and coaches to former students and dedicated staff, you'll hear firsthand how donor support shapes the lives of Aggie student athletes in competition and beyond. Whether you're a lifelong Aggie or simply curious about what makes Texas A&M so special, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's episode. Howdy, and welcome back to another episode of Answering the Call podcast, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. This is your host, Ivy Robinson, and right now I'm sitting in studio with Aggie football student athlete Dezz Ricks. Thank you for joining us on the podcast, Dezz.
No problem.
Okay, Dezz, to begin, can you share a unique fact about yourself that not a lot of people know?
This is something I shared with the team when we do this thing called the 4-H's. When I was young, I could do something weird. Like, I could fold ear inside of my ear, kind of.
What?
Like, and it gets stuck. Yeah, it's something, like, very strange.
How did you discover you could do this? You just tried it one day?
I have no clue. I just figured it out. I still do it to this day sometimes.
Wait, what's the 4-H's? I'm still confused. Is that
4-H's,
a drill?
It's something we get up there, like, and we get to know more about each other.
Oh,
like,
okay.
History, heroes, heartbreaks, hopes. That's what it's
wait, what is it again?
History, heroes, heartbreaks, and hopes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Do y'all do that before the season begins? During fall camp?
Uh-huh.
That is so cool. Out of all the athletes we've had on this podcast so far, I haven't heard about that, but that's really neat. Okay, Dezz, can you tell us and tell our listeners a little bit about your background, including where you're from and where you went to high school?
So I'm originally from Norfolk, Virginia. I grew up in a city that's probably like 10 minutes from Norfolk, Virginia, called Chesapeake, Virginia. But I ended up going to high school in Florida, IMG Academy. And my parents moved to Florida my mom moved to Florida first, like my sophomore year. My dad moved down my junior year, which ended up being my senior year because I reclassed up.
Was that a difficult transition for you going from Virginia all the way down to Florida?
My mom always said I've been like a free spirit kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So like she said she thought I would be homesick, but I actually was having the time of my life.
Yeah. Florida's a great place to be. I mean, I love Florida. What was your favorite part? Tell me more about the academy and why you enjoyed being specifically at that school, and maybe share like what all you were involved in at that school sport-wise.
I enjoyed it from like a structure standpoint. I'll say it made my transition to college much more simple because I've kind of already been on that schedule since my, freshman year of high school. So I was used to that, just being like on time and things and whatnot, and like consequences that come with not being on time to them things. Like we're in public schools, maybe if, you're that guy, you kind of get away with a little stuff like that. But it wasn't like that. Everybody was that guy, IMG. What I was involved in, really wasn't involved in much. I just went to class, played football, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So football has always been your sport. You never played anything else like when you were younger, or?
So when I was younger, I ran AAU track, actually. I was pretty good in the state of Virginia.
Nice. What'd you run?
Track. I ran the 200, the 4x1, and the 100.
Nice,
and sometimes the 400, which I hate.
No, I ran the 400 and the 800 in high school, and not a fun race at all. Okay, interesting. So thank you for sharing about, your time at the academy, and I think it's interesting how you really value that structure and you felt like that prepared you for the next level for college. So
right.
Did anyone in your family, or did you have like a close friend or someone, like how did you specifically start playing the game of football? Did a parent encourage you or a friend?
Okay, so my oldest brother played football. He was really good. He played football for this team called the Shoe Park Cowboys, which was in Norfolk, Virginia. Okay. And this is when we was living in Chesapeake, so we'll drive from Chesapeake to Norfolk. My dad would take him to practice at the time. And I was young. I was probably like 4 years old, and I had this Buffalo Bills shirt and this little Buffalo Bills helmet. And but when they team, my brother was playing on 14U at the time.
Okay.
And when they team would get warmed up for practice, I'll be in the front of the line leading them. around the field for practice. Like
That's
I was leading them.
awesome.
And then like the coach for that team, Coach Marvin, somebody significant in my life for sure. He always told my dad, they call my dad Boogie. He was like, Bug, I'm telling you, Bug, he gonna be the next one. Like, that's the one. He's like, I'm waiting on him. And when I got of age, I started playing flag football for that organization. And then from there, that's when I got into tackle football. I started with that organization.
Oh man, that is so fun. You just
Yeah.
knew when you were little, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm already ready to be out here. And
Yeah. We used to do this thing at the end of practice where like you'll have to be on somebody's back, like, and they'll run with somebody on their back. And so like everybody on the team used to want to obviously have me on their back because I was like 4 years old. I ain't weigh nothing. So like, yeah.
they're like, we want Dezz. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. The football was always a sport and always the love.
Yeah.
When did you realize that, the defensive side of things was kind of your specialty? And when did you start playing, defensive back specifically?
So I was always a quarterback. That was my old position. Like I love quarterback stuff. I didn't start playing defensive back till high school, actually, my freshman year of high school. So
Really?
I was always a quarterback. But I had this coach, this mentor, his name was Coach Red, and he was my travel team head coach, the 757 coach, back where I'm from. And he had told me, like, I always played cornerback and quarterback, but he had told me, like, maybe you should look into corner because, like, your athletic gift, like, I think that's something that you will be really good at. So that summer, I just started working really hard at corner, and it took off from there, honestly.
Yeah. Thank goodness for him. That's a good mentor.
Definitely.
I want to go back, take it a step back a little bit. Tell me more about, so how long did you live in Virginia? Was it quite a bit before you moved to Florida?
Yeah, till I was 15.
Yeah. Tell me
Yeah,
more
until I was
about
15 years
just
old.
Norfolk and what you love about it. And if there was one thing from Virginia that you wish you could have here in Texas, what would it be and why?
Obviously, it'll probably be my family. That's where all my family live, is Virginia. I'd say that's what I miss the most, like throughout, leaving home early and whatnot, being away from family a lot and stuff. So yeah, it'll be that. Something interesting about Norfolk. It's the biggest naval base.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did not know that. Yeah. Very cool.
Norfolk, that's where like all the ships are at.
Yeah, you're
That's
right
what it
there
makes-
because it's
yeah.
right there on the Atlantic coast, right?
Exactly.
Very neat. Very interesting. Let's talk more about your recruitment process and how you got to, like, when the offer started rolling in. Tell me more about that. And when you realized, hey, I want to continue football in college and this could be a reality for me. And when did the offer start rolling in?
So I got my first offer from Tennessee in 8th grade.
And what was going through your mind when you got that offer?
I was excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited. And then from there, like they started trickling in. By the end of like 8th grade, I had 8 offers. So my recruitment started pretty early. From there, high school, freshman year, I went to IMG, really picked up some more. Sophomore year is when rankings dropped. And by then, I already had almost every offer. So I was ranked pretty high.
Was it a difficult decision for you when you were trying to choose where you were going to go right out of high school?
Yeah, I'd say for me it was a little different. It was because with some of the coaches, like I started building relations with them in 8th grade. Like I said, Coach Bateman was actually one of them, but he was at UNC at the time. I wasn't going to UNC. You know that. It was kind of hard to say no to some of them coaches because I felt like I built the real bond. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what ultimately led you to choose Alabama?
It was always LSU and Bama. Like I knew it was between them two. It was always close. But I had a talk with Saban that night before signing day. And Coach T-Rob, who was the defensive back coach there at the time. And something just shook me. It was just it was the right decision for me to make.
Tell me about a little bit more that first year at Alabama and what you learned, what was like instrumental in your development as a player. And also I want to come back to Coach Bateman too. I'll ask about him in just a minute. But yeah, what stood out to you in terms of that first year at Alabama? Like, what did you learn about yourself? Did you have to overcome any adversity, any challenges?
I said I was blessed to come into a situation where I had two veteran cornerbacks that were really good. I learned a lot from them with Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold. You know, it was a blessing to learn from them guys my first year. Also, Coach Saban, like, he was real hands-on with the cornerbacks. So, like, he ran the cornerbacks meeting.
Really?
So, yeah, he was a corners coach. So that's what I really like. That's probably a big reason why I went there as well, too. It was a good year for me to learn. I ended up redshirting, but, like, I'm thankful, and I wouldn't change nothing.
Yeah. And what do you think now that you're here, a part of the Aggie football program, comparing those two? Like, what are the main differences between like our program and like what you experienced at Bama?
I'll say, I don't know what things were like before, but I'll say Coach Elko does a good job of structure. So, you know, kind of similar structure. I will say that, like, you know, just having, you know, a set foundation of, like, you know, rules that, you know, we have to follow and whatnot, and having consequences for not doing those things. So I'll say both programs are definitely similar in that aspect.
I'm curious, Dezz, what do you think is the best piece of football advice you've ever received from a family member, a coach, or a mentor?
Well, this is a basic one, but this is something I go by to this day. You know, I had a coach tell me, you know, when you're doing well, never get too high, and when you're doing bad, never get too low on your stuff. Kind of just, you know, stay, like, I don't know, level-headed.
Yeah, it's like mellow. Like,
stay mellow.
That's good advice. That can be applied to anything in life, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm curious, what sold Texas A&M for you in terms of when you transferred from Bama and you came here? Why did you want to come be a part of this program here?
So I had one of my coaches that used to train me back in Virginia. He actually helped me get my feet together and whatnot, like for the transition defensive back, you know, learning how to move like a corner and whatnot. So he helped me with that. I asked him, like, you know, I need help in this process. I need you to break down all the schools that I'm looking at right now in the portal, like their defensive line. Because, like, that was very important to me. Like, having a good defensive line as a corner, you know, that go hand to hand. He broke down Texas A&M defensive line for me and told me, you know, Nick Scoring was transferring in and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, that's where I'm going. But also Coach Bateman played a part in that. And when I sat down to talk to Coach Elko, me and my parents, we realized, like, he just seemed like a very authentic guy. And, you know, since I've been here, everything he said, he's never lied to me. So, yeah.
That's what a lot of football student athletes we've had on here have said, that what Elko says is, I mean, he stands by his word. And that's, I'm sure, so valuable to y'all, you know, when y'all coming in trying to make decisions. Like, having someone you can trust and having that in a leader is so needed and so valuable. Okay, tell me about Coach Bateman and kind of your relationship with him and how he's helped you develop in your game.
So, like I said, he started recruiting me in 8th grade, but he coached my god brother, who stayed a couple houses down from me. We were close since we were kids. He ended up going to UNC. His name Cameron Kelly. He played at UNC, so Coach Bateman was his defensive coordinator, whatnot. So, like, I used to come up to the games all the time and just watch him. This is before I was even a recruit for real. And I'd come and watch the games or whatnot. So, you know, we've been talking since then and whatnot. He knew my pops since then. You know, they got a pretty cool relationship too, him and my family. So we got a cool relationship, man. You know, he don't sugarcoat nothing with me, you know. So yeah.
That makes a good coach, doesn't it? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, I'm curious, let's talk about like game day, all right? Do you have any like pre-game routines or things you have to do before you take the field on game day?
I go out, I warm up, and then I go into the training room, get stretched by Parker. I'm somewhat superstitious, so I got to do the same.
Okay,
I need the same person to stretch me, like all that. So yeah, I go get stretched by Parker and whatnot. I go back into the locker room, put my headphones back on, start getting dressed and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my routine.
Nice. Who on the team would you say, or maybe in the corner room, how would you describe the culture of the corner room and who keeps things like loose and fun?
Characters. Room full of characters. Everybody funny. Julian Humphrey and JT hilarious. They joke all day long. Will Lee funny too. Everybody in the corner room really hilarious. We got a lot of different characters.
Who do you think has pushed you to become an even better DB, on the team. I mean, you're on the team with the top wide receivers in the country as well, like Casey, Mario Graver. How have they helped you become even better with your game?
They've helped me a lot, guarding quick, twitchy guys like that. I say it has made the game a lot much easier for me. It's helped me be able to play at a high level. Yeah, I appreciate them guys for that for sure.
Yeah. Well, just with your journey, Dezz, like playing at IMG, Alabama, and now Texas A&M, you've been in some of the biggest, most difficult football environments. So what are some of the best lessons you've learned in terms of handling pressure in those really intense moments?
I've learned to block out all the outside noise. Honestly, like none of that matter. Staying grounded on like the little things, on how to get the job done instead of worrying about like, bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want this win. Thinking more like, let me do extra treatment. Let me watch extra film. Like focusing on the process instead of just being so result driven. So yeah, that's helped me a lot.
Yeah, focus on the process. That's good. Having been ranked as a 5-star and lived through the recruiting spotlight, what advice would you give to younger players who are going through maybe that process right now?
None of it matters. None of the stars, none of that. All of the offers really doesn't matter because you can only go to one school at the end of the day. And when you get to that school, it's an even playing field. You could be a 5-star and a 3-star could end up starting over you.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't matter. That's my best advice I could give.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Random question that just popped in my head. Outside of football, what do you enjoy doing, like for fun? Do you have any things you like to do just to like unwind, relax?
I was talking to my mom about this. I don't really have hobbies. I'm a simple guy. I like to eat good, first of all.
That's important. You got to feel your body.
Out here, you could catch me at 1860. Like 1860, Porter's, Juanita's. That's some of my favorite spots.
Those are great places.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your go-to order at each of those places?
At each of those places, I'm going to start with 1860. So I get the ribeye steak, Calabrese style. That's really good.
Nice.
Porter's, I get the filet mignon Oscar style. I'm a big steak guy, if you can't tell.
Hey, I love it. I'm all for a good steak. Yep.
And then Juanita's, I get chicken and steak quesadilla, and then I get a small queso with the spicy beef added into it.
Nice. I mean, speaking of food, is there anything in Texas you've experienced that's like completely new or like different than cuisine back in Virginia? Like
I just started eating crawfish when I got here, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Bryce Anderson. He the reason why he
introduced you to it.
Yeah, he be cooking crawfish at his crib. I had it at his house one time.
Nice.
That was my first time. I haven't looked back since. Yeah.
So you're now a forever fan.
Yeah, I like crawfish a lot.
Okay, going back to your position, the cornerback position, what do you specifically love about it, and what gets you fired up getting to play that position every single game?
I like the challenge of it. I feel like it's the hardest position on the field, guarding somebody athletic, somewhat backwards.
Yeah.
I just like the challenge of it. It's a good feeling when you stop a defender from catching the ball, because, it's not something easy to do.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm just a very confident guy. I feel like it's a position for confident people.
Mm-hmm. Reflecting on your time at Texas A&M, specifically the games you've played here, what are some big moments and that really stand out to you in terms of being proud or really excited, big plays that mean a lot to you that you've made?
Well, my first start last year, versus Arkansas, a pick right before halftime and 2-minute drill. That's probably been one of my favorite plays so far. What else? LSU game, I had a couple good plays in that game. That was one of my favorite games too. And then this year, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
That was just, that was a really good feeling.
What was your general reaction to that? I mean, just everything that happened in the fourth quarter. I mean, the whole game was so back and forth, but that last drive, I mean, what was going through your mind? Can you recap it for us?
I said, I don't know how we gonna win this, but we gonna win. I just felt it.
You just had the feeling.
I had a feeling. I said, I don't know how we gonna win, but we gonna win. And we got it done.
Yep. Yeah. It was awesome, awesome moment. I've been watching like the recap video of just the celebratory moment of all of y'all. Like the guys like dancing in the end zone.
Yeah, I was a part of that.
Who did the little
That was TJ.
Irish? That was pretty funny. Pretty funny. Okay, another fun question for you. If, let's say, between you and Will Lee, who wins the most one-on-one battles in practice, and who's quicker to let the other one hear about it?
Who wins the most one-on-one battles?
Yep.
Like one-on-ones?
Like when they're guarding receivers.
When we go against receivers? It depends the day. I don't know. Sometimes me, sometimes him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely like let each other know in a joking way, but it gets us going at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, we definitely be on each other's head though.
Yeah. Dezz, how do you think the game of football has provided just tremendous opportunity for your life that you wouldn't have had otherwise?
It's put me in rooms that I've never expected to be in while I was younger. You know, meeting a lot of important people and whatnot. The game has really blessed me in a big way.
What does, having the support of Aggie football season ticket holders and the fans who fly across the country to support y'all no matter where you go play, and the loyal support, having loyal support of 12 Man Foundation donors who their contributions help provide opportunities for y'all to compete, to get a great education at this institution and prepare you for careers beyond. What would you say to individuals who show just generous support like that?
It means a lot to us. We don't take it for granted. Like, I was even just talking to somebody about how at the Notre Dame game, it was our fans were just as loud as theirs, like little stuff like that. You know, also was telling somebody how I think, like, this is the loudest stadium I ever played in. I said that my freshman year when I was at Bama on the opposite sideline. So, like, we don't take none of that for granted. I'm very thankful. Sure.
Let's talk about that. I completely skipped over that, but you played here.
Right.
Is that correct? You were here literally playing for Bama in Kyle Field. Like, that must be like such a crazy feeling to have once been playing here as an opponent, and now you're playing here for the Maroon and White.
All right.
What was that game like when you were here?
It was loud. On that sideline, it's way louder.
Yeah.
Like, cause
on
that's
the student
all
side.
the student side.
Yes.
It was ridiculous. I was like, this place is crazy.
And then when you got to walk down the main tunnel of Kyle Field for the very first time being a part of this Aggie football program, what did that moment feel like for you?
It was a surreal feeling. It's something I really enjoyed. I would never forget that, ever. It was, it felt real good.
Why are you specifically proud to be an Aggie now?
I'm proud to represent a university who's, so strong about not only their program, but just about, this university in general. I feel Aggies feel very strong about this place. I just love it here overall. I like Texas a lot.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a good place with good people.
Definitely.
Yeah. And what are your goals for the rest of your college career and then even beyond?
Well, my main goal is just to be the best teammate I could be and, help us win, however that is. Take this program as far to places it's never been before and whatnot.
And what would be your final words to Aggie football fans, in terms of encouraging them to continue the support and to keep coming out and watching y'all for the rest of the season?
Thank you, guys, and you wouldn't want to miss it. That's all I got to say.
I love it. Dezz Ricks on Answering the Call podcast. Dezz, thank you again for joining us today.
Of course.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Answering the Call. If you're enjoying this show, please rate and follow us on your podcast streaming platform of choice so you can be the first to know when a new episode drops. As always, a big thank you to our incredible podcast producer, Megan Rohde, 12th Man Productions, and Texas A&M Athletics NIL Department. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to every donor and season ticket holder for always answering the call through loyal support of Texas A&M Athletics and our student athletes. We'll be back soon with more content. Thanks and gig 'em.